Okay, well, here we are at one of the antique co ops in Adamstown, Pennsylvania. Now, I'm going to apologize because I'm going real quick here, but that's because I know what I'm looking for. Of course, I go to the books all the time, but I'm also looking for anything on magic or magicians, of course. And some of these books I've seen before. Ooh, U.S. Naval, that looks neat. Some of the ones in glass cases are a little bit more tough to read, but you get to it. Oh, check out that old radio. Believe it or not, that's what radios used to look like back in the 1920s. KDKA was the first radio station in America out of Pittsburgh. Fun fact. Well, kind of fun. This particular dealer has always got the weirdest, strangest, coolest books that you can find on every kind of subject. I've picked up several from this person over the years. Look at that one. The Iron Age. Oh, that's all about trains and stuff. There's an old indenture. You see that a lot around here. There's also plenty of holiday decorations in this one little alcove. So I'm just going to zip through because every once in a while I'll find something cool for Halloween. But let's see, mostly a lot of Christmas stuff. There's some jack-o'-lanterns. That's always neat. Hello, teddy bear. Lots of plenty of Santa Clauses and the wooden soldiers and stuff. Ooh, look at that. Like I said, I'm zipping through a little bit quick. Please bear with me. Some of my other videos I'll go a little slower. Because, like I said, I'm looking for specific items here, and at this particular day, I got near closing time, so I kind of had to rush through a little bit. But there's plenty of booths in Adams Antiques. That's the name of the place I'm at right now. I'm going to go through a few co-ops because I have a little bit of time before they close here. Need any dishes? I don't. As you can see, there's plenty of stuff hanging everywhere. These prints and stuff, I've picked up a few over the years. Ooh, some sports stuff. Any Eagles? No? Well, they lost anyway. I was looking for a friend of mine who is a huge Eagles fan. This person has some sports memorabilia. All different prices. There we go. A little bit more sports stuff here. I'm reading inside. Sometimes when the camera freezes, it's because I'm actually looking through a booklet or something, and I just lose track. Oh, need a... Oh, look at that rocking horse. Nope, some prints. It's weird, because even in the sports section, sometimes you'll find other entertainment items. Look at that little football. That's pretty cool. There's a set. Oh, look at the boar's head. See? A boar's head. Oh, there's Pershing, General Pershing on the back wall. There's that boar's head again. I'm thinking about that because it reminds me of Hogwarts, but through $350, I'm gonna let it sit. Every once in a while I'll find some vintage Eagles or sports stuff in here, and I'll pick it up for a buddy of mine who's a sports fanatic. But you have to be careful. You have to always look through all the pictures hanging on the wall because you never know what you're going to find. In a situation like this, I once found a great print from 1820 of a magician doing the cups and balls. So, even if it's sports, you always have to check. There's some bucks. Look at the little high chairs from back in the day. That's pretty cool. See that doctor bag? I used to use something like that in my magic act. I'd walk out on stage back in my day and pull something out of the bag. Now this is the same dealer that had all kinds of antique prints before. He's got, I think, something from Salvador Dali in here. There's a newspaper, but there's no magician ads in it. And you really have to be careful because some of the stuff's not in frame. But I checked it all out, and unfortunately, didn't see any magic stuff. But that is really beautiful how they do that reverse painting. Hi, Napoleon. I'm starting a collection of Napoleon stuff, but I kind of want things that were contemporary to when he was alive. Like I have newspaper and magazine articles about him. Always got to check this back wall. Some of these things have been here a while. Now you're going to have to excuse the camera work here, but I'm working on getting a new camera, so right now I'm not even able to see what I'm looking at through the lens. But, you know, hey, I'm just swinging it around. Ooh, look at the monkey. In all these co-ops, though, it's very important that you keep looking up, down, all around, because there's little things hidden in all the nooks and crannies. Oh, more books, you know. There's my phone, see? Look at how old that looks. Oh, God. It's almost embarrassing. But, as you can see, it's taken me a little while because I'm checking out all the titles on these books. Leather-bound books are my weakness. I just love them. Now, some of these book dealers, you know, they'll put aside stuff for me if they see something in my, in my wheelhouse. But I always check anyway because sometimes, you know, things slip through the cracks, so you never know what you can find. This particular dealer I've known for a long time. She's a wonderful lady, and, you know, she's always been good to me as far as putting aside things that she finds. Even the kids' books, every once in a while you'll find something on Houdini or magic that you want to check out. Especially when you see anything that has to do with like fairy tales. Because sometimes the magic stuff gets stuck in behind it. Over here. Ooh. See? Look at that even more. By the way, feel free to pause anytime if you want to see any of the titles or zoom in on stuff. I apologize, like you wouldn't believe, for how fast I go through these co-ops, but in this section of the country, there's so many antique shops that it's really tough to go through them all. You really gotta, you know, keep moving. Especially if you specialize in your interest like I do. There's Raggedy Ann. She always gave me the creeps. Lots of beer collectibles. There's trays like crazy. Old beer cans. Remember when beer cans were a big thing? These are some of the toys. A lot of farm-related toys in Lancaster County, of course. Look at that happy couple. I don't know. Something about him just says that he's going to try and, I don't know, turn into Norman Bates later. There's a 1969 football team. Look at all the haircuts. Hello. And another thing that is difficult to film. Oh, well, I'll get back to that in a second. But first of all, look at this room is scary. That's why I'm going through it kind of quick. Because everything is so gorgeous and so old and very expensive. I'm always afraid I'll knock into, you know, like a picture frame or something and send it smash into the ground. But some of this carved furniture is absolutely stunning. Even the little cabinets you hang on the wall. That carved break front, oh my gosh. I just don't have the house big enough to hold all this stuff. Now, anytime I see military things like those helmets, I'll always stop and see if there's any handcuffs. Not so much this time. In this actual co-op, and I'll show you at the end of the video, I did okay. I found a few items here and there, you know. but I'll show you what they are later. Now, in this area, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, you see a lot of textiles and a lot of samplers and things like that. But that's not really in my collecting, area. Mostly books, obviously. Boom! I like these. And once again, I'm sorry I'm going so fast, but basically I'm pretty much just browsing and scanning the books looking for certain titles that jump out to me. And I'm not seeing any here, but I just love those old leather bindings, don't you? Look at those. Oh, it's fantastic. I wish they made books like that back then. In other words, I wish they made books today like they did back then. Oh, there's a little barnyard. Remember that? I had that when I was a kid. Oh my God. And there's Grover. It is I, Grover. But I did not have that one. He's vintage, but he's not a puppet, so I'm not going to pick him up. And I think he was like $30. And seen better days. I need a Grover that can, you can use as a puppet, because I have a bunch of Muppet puppets. Muppet puppets. Is there a dinosaur right there? Who knows? I don't need any more amps. Oh my gosh, I've got plenty of them. And in these glass cases, while everything's beautiful and it's really neatly arranged, it's really hard to video. I'm sorry, because of the glare. Everything, the way the glass and the lighting is, you just get glare off of everything. So I'm just going to zip through these things. And like I said, a lot of my videos, you're going to see the exact same problem. And I apologize, but this is your opportunity to stop and pause wherever you see fit. If you see something that interests you, by all means, pause it on there. Because that's what I do when I watch, other videos of other people that go to antique shops where I can get to. I mean, even the guns and some of the toys, you see, you're always going to get a glare. There's just nothing I can do. See, everything's locked up, nice and secure. That's what I like, though. I would love to have an entire room of my house with items like this. You know what I mean? With showcases like that. There you can see me trying to look into a showcase. A little bit jumpy, but in this section, the reason that some of this stuff is jumpy is because I'm working my way around other customers. So I'm trying to be, polite and be wary and aware of other people, because they're shopping too. I'm not just here to vlog. Lots and lots of glassware in this aisle. Some old Stife bears, which is always cool. I just simply don't have the room. I would love to have a bear collection, but, I don't have the room. There's some pottery. Now, there are a few handcuffs and things in some of these showcases that have been around for a while, and the reason I don't get them is because I already have them. Here comes some really cool G.I. Joe stuff. Now, I had that originally. That was from the Adventure Team. It's that 6-wheel vehicle. I love that. Oh, man. I had that when I was a kid. Most of the stuff in here I had when I was a kid. I just wish I still did. There's the Creature Cantina on the right in Star Wars. A lot of stuff in Star Wars boxes. After I had a flood in the basement, I had to get rid of, and I'm still kicking myself. But, I did save a bunch of the stuff that I had when I was a kid. How cool would it be to have showcases like this in your house? Oh, look at that. Remember that game? Yep. There's the Cloud car on the left. A couple of TIE fighters. Play sets. Again, I simply just don't have the room with all the magic stuff in my house. I just don't have the room to keep going with my toy collection. But if I did, this is where I would go. Because it's got all kinds of cool stuff. Please, zoom in. Oh, that's a neat... You know what that is? That's one of those old scales. More glassware. I'm walking around. Sorry, it's a little bouncy. Blah, blah, blah. Bouncy, bouncy. Look at that drum. Oh. You know, believe it or not, a lot of Civil War drums have survived through the years and are in this area. All kinds of different showcases here. I forget what I'm looking at. Oh yeah, some of those ribbons. A lot of canes. I was looking at the canes, but I just realized that I don't need a new one. I have my own collection of canes. There's some sporting goods stuff in here. I'm looking at one of those top shelves. There's some paper items, but, you know, again, no magic. A lot of sporting goods in this section. There's certain dealers that, you know, specialize. So even though they specialize in sporting goods or this or that or glassware, you still want to see, because every once in a while they'll toss an oddball item in there. That's really cool. See, for example, sporting goods, but there's a picture of a movie star from the 40s. You know what I mean? You can never find, you can never tell what you're going to find. I really apologize for the glare, but, you know, I'm working on it. And I also need a new camera. Until that time comes, you know, I'm just going to wander around the co-ops like this. I also look for different funny outfits to wear for some of my comedy videos, which you might have seen. And like I said before, you always got to look up, because they pop stuff up on the top shelves and in the rafters. There's things everywhere in these antique co-ops. You just always have to be aware. Oh boy, remember those old lawn chairs? Oh man. It's really disheartening when you walk into an antique shop and you see things that you had when you were a kid or that your parents had, you know what I mean? But that's the price of getting older. Again, here we go. More paper items. I always love looking through the paper items. Now this section of the co-op has an awful lot of glassware, so I'm not going to spend too much time. You know, unless I see like a salt and pepper shaker that has a magician theme. One time I bought a cookie jar from this particular co-op, and it's a rabbit coming out of a hat, you know what I mean? So it has that magic theme. I've gotten salt and paper shakers and little dishes with playing cards and things like that. Oh, hello Thor. That's a sign, that's not an actual comic. Oh. God, look at the vintage magazines in the 60s. Look at the Beatles. Oh, man. Just imagine being a kid in like 1966, you know, when these magazines first came out and you were a big fan. There's some jewelry. Not really into that unless I see something with a magic or a handcuff theme. Those are hexes, which you see all over Lancaster County. Some more textiles. There's that hex sign again. Now this particular dealer I love, because they always get a bunch of antique military items, but you can never tell what they're going to have. I'm always hoping to find some old MP handcuffs or whatever. I have found a few padlocks over the years in here, but again, I already have them, so sorry, I'm not going to buy them. But it's just like walking through a museum of history. Oh. I mean, where else are you going to find stuff from the Spanish-American War, World War I, World War II, Vietnam? I mean, these antique places and these dealers have items going back centuries, and it's just phenomenal and a rare gift to be able to actually see these things and, in some cases, handle them. You know, because all these dealers are really cool. They're like, yeah, you want to check this out and hold it? Because that's the only way to tell what you're getting. That's why I hate buying stuff online, because unless I can hold it in my hands and examine it and make sure that it's authentic, you know, to me, nothing beats that experience. I'm sorry. Well, I think it's time to go check out and pay for the items that I picked up, and I'm going to show you exactly what I bought at the end of the video. Once again, I apologize for how fast and blurry a lot of the stuff is in this video, but I'm working on getting a better camera and taking a little bit more time to go through these co-ops, because I could actually do a video a day for the next like 10 years and never repeat myself. There's just so many antique shops in my area. But that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please, please, please subscribe and share if you haven't already. And we will see you again next time. Wraps up another antique adventure, and as you can see, I got some books on that trip. I got some stuff for some friends of mine, and the coolest thing I got was a set of vintage monkeys playing cards. 1966. Here's what the backs look like. It's got the Monkeys guitar logo, and on the front there's different photos of the band, except for some of the court cards. But we have Mickey, we got Peter, Mike, Davey, all of them. And believe it or not, it's a full deck. So I think I did pretty good on this little antique extravaganza excursion, I guess you would call it. Put them back in there. Now the box is a little bit damaged, but that's okay. Monkeys playing cards, there you go. Still has a seal up top, which is cool. And that is what I got on that little excursion into the antique market. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please subscribe and share and do all that kind of fun stuff. And we will see you again next time.